This movie sucks. But but of course it sucks. They've all sucked. Okay, look, right now, this is the night of the 19th of December. This is Thursday. I just watched the movie. It was premiere night in my country. I'm recording this immediately afterwards. I don't know when I'll upload the video. I might want to do audio cleanup. I haven't chosen which footage I'm going to use in the background. But let's start. This movie, it does one thing well, and that is there is an increased focus on Rey this time. You know, there's been that complaint people have had, and I've had it as well in the past, that Rey's strength is unexplained. She's never had any training. She never makes any mistakes. She's just always doing the right thing. She's more powerful than everybody, and everyone is just there essentially to just help, look more and more powerful. Well, they address that this time. That's not a problem. The story has a good focus on Rey as a character, her own insecurities. She makes mistakes, she has to overcome them, and in my opinion, this is the best thing about this movie. That being said, it's the only good thing about this movie. I'm not going to say that it looks good. They all look good. I mean, Disney has a lot of money to throw around, so of course the stuff is going to look amazing. That's never been a problem before, and it's not a problem now either. But let's talk about the Disney Star Wars movies for a second. In my opinion, ever since Disney bought this thing, all the movies have sucked. Like, all of them. They suck in unique and varied ways, but they all still suck. Force Awakens sucked in that lack of creativity type of way. The Last Jedi sucked in that absolute disrespect for the law kind of way. And this one, the best way that I can put it is this. You've seen kids playing with toys, right? Where one kid says, hey, my guy has a giant laser, and then he shoots you in the face, and then the other kid goes, no, my guy now has a giant mech that absorbs lasers, and this other guy goes, what? No, my giant mech now has been upgraded with demon power, and then the other guy goes, well, now my guy has just received white magic that deflects demon power. It's that level of stupid. Like, this movie it feels like it was written by someone that at the oldest must be like 9 to 10 years of age. I do not know why this was even made, honestly. And yes, it's bad in comparison to the other movies around, but you have to understand that this is surprisingly bad. Like, this is surprisingly bad. The script is terrible. They have that Disney thing where they keep trying to throw humor into completely unnecessary situations. The way that the situation that they left the Last Jedi in, the last movie, there was absolutely no reason for there to be this much humor in this one. They are in a desperate situation. But you know what? Disney can't seem to help themselves. Every situation has to be used for jokes no matter what. There is just way too much humor in the movie. And another thing is that there is I don't think I've seen a trilogy of movies like this before. Maybe given enough time I can think of something. But each and every one of these movies has barely any connection to the others outside of the overall themes and the characters. Otherwise, these movies are each and every one of them does not respect what the others were doing. When The Force Awakens ended, which at least tried to set some stuff up, Last Jedi completely ignored everything and did whatever the hell they wanted. This movie, same thing. It's almost like nothing happened before this, and everyone's just doing whatever the hell they want. And then the fan service. This is it's almost one insulting level of fan service. Now, this is obviously a J.J. Abrams thing, so I mean, you expect that it's going to just throw fan service all over the place, but this is too much even for this guy. It was insulting. There were so many points at which they just show something and it's like, oh, well, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point? A lot of the fan service has no purpose other than just reminding you that, hey, remember this from the original movies? Remember this? It's so stupid. And as if all that isn't bad enough, there's just a little bunch of random things that I also didn't like. There was a new robot that was introduced, completely pointless. C-3PO had way too much of a focus in this movie. I didn't like that. There was a point at which there are horses on a spaceship. What the fuck? Ugh. You know what? All in all, this was a very difficult task that they had on their hands, and they failed spectacularly. But you know what? Let's not pretend here. If you are among the few people that thought this movie was going to be amazing, well, surprise, it's not. I'm sure most of us knew that this was going to suck. Like I've said, they've all sucked. But like the others, it has its own unique brand of stupidity. And honestly, for me, I feel like they didn't need to make this movie. They didn't need to make any of these movies. They've all shown that there is absolutely no idea. There is no stories that these people want to tell. The first time I've seen something that looks like an actual interesting story that somebody wanted to tell is The Mandalorian. Everything else is just soulless, cash grabby stuff. It's absolutely... the closest they've come to an actual movie is Rogue One. And even that was based on the stealing of the plans from the Death Star. The Mandalorian seems to be the only thing that somebody actually came up with that had something unique to say. Anyway, I'm diverting from the topic now. This movie sucks. That's my thoughts. Obviously, it was always going to be terrible. There was no way to follow up The Last Jedi without... like, that movie basically shot this franchise in the leg. There was no way it was going to finish the sprint in a way that makes it... like, you have to think of it like a relay race, right? You hand over the baton to the next person and they keep running. Well, when the baton was handed over to the guy of The Last Jedi, he threw it out of the arena, jumped over the fence and said fuck you to the guy in the ring and then ran away. So when eventually somebody else goes and picks up the relay, to the baton to keep, continuing the race, you're so far off base, there is no possible way you can win at that point. And for me, that's pretty much what happened with these movies. It's so unfortunate. I hope they do not continue this whole franchise. And my hope is that maybe they'll just say all of this is not canon. Who knows? Thanks for listening if you took the time. This was very incoherent. I've told you I've just seen the movie. And what a waste of everybody's time.